Awesome. So what we do, we go again, next day. First of all, obviously this trade is out, by the way. That hit TP 1 to 50, not bad. 1 to 57. Okay. So that's your first 1 to 57 trade in here, and you're trading the reversal right after. Okay. Not so bad. Not so bad. So guess what? You're waiting. Asia is getting formed. Do nothing. So at this point already, what can we expect? All right. We can expect either inducement high, off Asia midline or whatever, bouncing higher. You can expect Asia inducement low to go higher. You can expect whatever, Asia whipsaw. There's multiple scenarios you understand so far. At least we understand now we're coming from a 1 hour demand zone and we're aiming for the extreme, which is the 1 hour supply zone. So we know we're in the middle of nowhere. So we're just reacting of what price action is going to do. Okay. So we're just letting price action complete Asia range for a guide. Okay. Until Frankfurt. So now we at London, we are Frankfurt, right? So we go in the 5, we are in the 5. So what do we see already? So we see something like this. So we already see the building up the channel up, but also channeling downwards for what is that? Channel inducement into probably mitigation. There would be a possible mitigation. What is the entry L per se? Okay. EDM. So we're now looking to the 1 minute, right? Whoops. There's my pen. So what do we have? We have a build up inducement candle of the 5 into possible mitigation areas, which is in here based off an EDM. There's not a balance here. It's not a balance here. That's VIX. So the only possible mitigation area of an EDM would be this one, which was just tapped. Nothing I would personally trade a limit of, but just for understanding purposes, you could. Okay. So let me remove my pen. Because why can we take this? I mean, understand this in here. Because again, look at the 5 minute. It's the same shit all over again. Build up, cycle, channel, inducement with speed into a mitigation confirmed by an EDM. Okay. This one, high, lower, this one. This one obviously higher, this one. EDM into a channel, inducement, mitigation, EDM, looking for buys. Nothing I would learn a limit on of here, right? Because of course it's Asia low, nothing we will limit on. But guess what we can do instead? We're waiting for either break of structure equal highs. Now what we have, equal highs off of day open. Okay. So what can we do? That's a possible trade in here. Right? Okay, taps in. So that's a possible trade because it's a little bit more confirmed. Because the EDM hold, and of course now you can aim for Asia high being closed out. Make sense? So we're just waiting. What happens here? Of course, our ideal scenario would now be Asia range being induced. Perfect. When does it happen? London open. Awesome. So now we look to the left if this is a reaction trade we can take from. Right. So now we understand. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, this could definitely not make sense here. Why would this make sense? If anything, we're looking for this Asia range. This Asia range got induced by this in here. Right, makes sense. Because why? There's my pen. This push in here led to finally the break of the day. What is this push doing? Nothing. Right, but this is the intraday candle with the huge imbalances. So if anything, this is already mitigated anyway. Smart money trap in here. And this definitely had an impact in here. Okay, so if you want for minor inducement trades, you can play this trade for sure. So what can we do in here? Same thing as always. Trade a limit of, well, candle like this. Okay. Or you can make it safer and be like this, but it doesn't matter. Let's just understand what's going on in here. Okay, but now we're just confirming the cycle again. We now finally induced Asia high. We still know we should actually go to the upside, but still we have a perfect cycle to the upside. So what do? Just waiting. Perfect. Timing. Taps into it. No, taps not into it. Now it taps. Okay, perfect. Would we react from that? No. What do we wait for? Confirmations. Okay, now we have a break of structure. Minor one. Right, but nothing I would ever run a limit on. But again, the whole cycle confirms it. Right. And also, what can we do? Let it play to show. Okay. So what do you have in here? That's your 1 minute lat in here. That's your possible trade. Okay, but again, count the trend. Definitely count the trend. But again, you're just playing the schematic all over again. Okay. Stop would go above you though. Okay, but again, just playing the intraday play, but understanding technically you still want to go to the extreme. But now you're just playing the intraday play in the cycle. Okay. Makes sense? Because again, the cycle is completed. You have channel, inducement, into what? Speed, timing, into mitigation. Asia range got induced finally with timing and speed. Now you're having a break of structure. Awesome. So what do you expect technically from the build-up? Right? Of course, inducement low of Asia next, right? But something again you should be careful about because it's still looking for buys. Now what do you got? Okay. So if this plays out like this, what is this? Huge up and down, huge downwards low. What is that? You already know what that is, don't you? Asia whipsaw. So what can we expect? Perfect. Not even in London, not even in New York Open whatsoever. So we still have a lot of time to come higher. So now we look for the next zone, which price would make sense at. This is the inducement area, right? And what's the EDM in here, which led to what? The push that led to this break of the high. So where's the liquidity come from? Here. Does it make sense? Inducement mitigation. Asia whipsaw should whip this whole play here. Yeah. So this trade is out 1 to 10. But guess what? What do? We don't place a random limit in here. Just wait what price action shows us. Inducement in here. Okay. This is my pen. Right. So guess what? Now we're having an inducement in here. Right. Also, if you take this zone, missed it, you're trading the inducement trade in here. But this would be the zone that led to the whole push. So now if you can see if this inducement actually led to mitigation to the left and see if it makes sense. So now we can break it down to the 1 minute. Where's my pen? But this is the 5 minute zone in here. So we're taking the zone because now we're having a break of structure after the inducement. Okay, that's dangerous always. Oh. So let's see if you look at the 1 minute. Okay, and see. Okay, what's the push from here to here? Where's the technically the 1 minute imbalance? It's from here to here. So this is the obviously the other candle direction that led to the push. So let's see on the 5 minute. And out of a sudden, okay, it technically mitigated it perfectly. But we first went for the 5 minute zone. But now remember, adjusting what you see, not what you want to see. What do we have? Huge channel downwards, Asia whipsaw into inducement, technically into mitigation. Not our ideal perfect zone, but on a 1 minute, this was the demand area. Now it gets mitigated. Okay, so what do we do next? We go to the 1 minute again and see what the hell. Oh, not. Oh, I went to the seconds. Oh, shit, I messed that up hard. Sorry for that one. I went accidentally in the seconds. All right, so there we go. Now what we do, we go not to the seconds, we go to the 1 minute. And what do we see? Okay, perfect build-up, right, into the inducement in here, and we missed the trade. It is what it is. But again, at least you understand that this plays over, right? So if it comes back to this areas, whoops, what does it do? Induce this equal lows in here. Perfect. So what can we expect after? LEDs and EDMs. So what do we have? Nothing in here. Oops, that's a 1 minute, 5 minute LED. That was a little bit too quick. That was our 5 minute LED, waiting for the reaction. In here, trading the mitigation of the 5 minute LED. Obviously, that was a little bit too choopy in here. But that's a possible trade you can take later, because again, it's the order. You missed the inducement trade. The next thing is a 5 minute LED. As you see in here, that's the 5 minute LED. You're trading the mitigation of the LED. All right, perfect. Obviously, we missed this one on the edge here. Not a problem. So now what we do, we go to the 1 minute again and see this huge reaction here. But now we're interested in, of course, our bigger picture play, which is, of course, the final demand area or supply area, whatever, right? So what's the extreme in here? Nothing. What's the push that led to the whole thing in here? This is our 1 hour zone you can run off for the final zone in here. All right, we take this candle here. And again, if you look for the 1 hour, what do we have? This is the push, the extreme that led to break of structure. Finally, what did we have? First, we went into demand, efficiency of the pullback. Now we're waiting for a huge reversal. Now we're having our first break of structure, second break of structure. The whole thing is starting turning over and becoming bearish instead. This is the push that incidented, first of all, this break of structure here. That was the decisional, which was a smart money trap in here for the, guess what? Look at the bigger picture. Decisional extreme. Decisional becomes the intraday counter trend sell, but a smart money trap higher. Reacted from this point in here, daily cycle. Now look at this, timing is right here. Perfect timing would be 15 o'clock. We are 1 minute short, 1 hour short. So now we're going to the 5 minute again. Look at it. You know, 1 hour short of it, and we still have room to go. So we monitor 1 minute. See this huge push starting to whatever, closing out this trade if you went into there, because now we're monitoring for the overall 4 hour, 1 hour, everything combination of the final sell. Right, so we're just waiting for a perfect scenario. Don't getting faked out by this reaction by any means. We're wanting to this area to be mitigated. Right, we do nothing here, not getting faked out, and now the timing starts to come aligned pretty good. Oh shit, there's your final tube inducing highs one more time. Okay, taps the extreme. So let's say you would have run in here, right? Again, that's more the advanced shit, but don't care about it too much. Just for argument's sake, tapped in, perfect, and now you're just waiting for what? Okay, messes around. Oh, taps even more, makes new higher high. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Oh, there we go. What do we have? Break of structure, finally. What do we do? Limit order of the imbalance in here. Stop goes above the high. Timing to the fucking minute. Break of structure, mitigation. Timing is on point. Fucking cycle, Asia whipsaw. Did you understand actually all these entries? Like actually, what the fuck? That is it. What is it? 1 to 50, 1 to 40, whatever. 1 to fucking 5, 1 to 10, 1 to whatever. 1 to 7, 1 to whatever 16. And guess what? Look at that shit. If you're now taking just this trades alone, this one on the 1 hour. Okay, this is the 15. So this one on the 1 hour here had huge imbalances, right? Again, where is it? Again, line up with daily cycle, inducement, coming into London, inducement mitigation. So now, of course, you don't take this whole zone, you break it down to the 15, see if it makes sense. Okay, still this is the last imbalance in here. As you can see, this in here, by the way, Stockport took this trade. right? So again, this was a news candle, for example, news which just complete the cycle. Look at this trade, by the way, she took it. I admire that shit. But look at it. Perfect daily cycle, inducement in London. What does it do? Building a liquidity, chooping it, creating the low when fucking to the minute in New York trap time. Now look at it, trading equal imbalances at the push in here. And guess what news did? Come back all the way in here and trigger the limit order. That's fucking impressive shit. And that was a news candle and buy, obviously. But now we cannot take this huge candle. We need to take the candle that made an opposite direction, whatever you can call it, resistance, whatever. There's obviously liquidity into the market here before the news. And this is the news candle. They holded the market on purpose for 5 minutes. And of course, you only can do it if you put liquidity into the markets. So that's why this candle becomes, of course, an interest. You cannot take this whole candle in here. You're taking the candle that held market for 5 fucking minutes before what? The whole news candle mitigated their position and then shooped it. But that, of course, had a huge impact in here. And also to mitigate the 1 hour imbalance. You see, that's why we're taking this zone in here. After, we obviously, right up before is the inducement into the mitigation. And guess what? It happened right in our time windows. Makes the false reaction never get in there. Sometimes they leave this little gap on purpose to fake you out. Then they're giving the false reaction, forming an EDM off of a liquidity zone, Asia low, giving the EDM, trading into what? Build up, inducement. We're trading the 1 minute reaction, choop, 1 to fucking 40. And guess what? Doing the same shit for that fuckers. Did the same exact cycle. We missed even the buy trend, which was clear as well, but we fucked up the zone in here. It happens. It's the same exact thing. Build up into inducement, into mitigation. If you don't have an extreme, you miss it. Never had an opportunity to re-enter, and re-entry would be here. Never got there, as you can see in the 5 minute. You missed that trade. It is what it is. You take the left after. Perfect. And guess what happened after? That fog is insane. Right? So guess what? If you hold this trade, because what? You're having your 1 hour zone, market turning bearish at this point. So guess what happened? If you hold this trade until now, it is a fucking whatever. What is it? 1 to 100. There you go. That's your first 1 to 100 on the edge. If you take the extreme, that's your first 1 to 160. If I can take it. It's insane shit. Is it that complicated, ladies and gentlemen? Take it all the way down here. Whatever. Where is it? 1 to 50. What in the fuck? Was it that complicated? Ladies and gentlemen, what in the hell? Just combining it with the overall picture, waiting until market turns over, trading the higher time trend, and look at that fucker. That is to the fucking minute. London trap time. Like, what in the fuck? What can we do? First 1 to 100 trade. There you go.